Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Harry from Spurs TV back from match reaction video. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Man City 2. Interesting game. Let's get straight into it. So the starting lineup, 3-4-3. Frank carried on where he left off. I guess a somewhat success of Frankfurt in terms of like the tactics and personnel. So Vicario, of course, in goal. Now, again, we have an injury crisis. So the back three was Paulinho, which tactically, if you watch the game, he clearly picked Mamot Semenyo, especially because Semenyo started on the left-hand side at the beginning of the game. The other two defenders were Dragusin, out of numbers, I guess, and Romero. And the midfield was, Gray was playing right wing back. Very interesting choice there. Udogie left wing back, and Basuma and Gallagher were the two. It seems to be the Premier League duo he's choosing. And then the front line was Muani because Odobert had a knock or is injured. He did come on late in the second half. Solanke and Xavi. So we went into the game. I guess you can look at Tottenham's previous success for Man City, against Man City, and think, we're going to be successful and get a result against City. So some people may point and say, look, Spurs should be doing well against City. And we kind of did with the 2-2. Yes and no. Let's get into it. The first 10 minutes, City were all over us. Cherki gets the first goal. We were on the ropes. And then Cherki should have scored a second. But he didn't. But then the second goal was coming. Semenyo, just before the second half ends, from a Dragusin clearance, gets the second. And it seemed like the 3-4-3 was not working. We also had tons of injuries. That is a major factor, I think, personally, that in terms of going into the game, I know we have a good record against City, but we were missing Van der Ven and tons of other players who in the past have made a big difference against City. For example, Kulusevski. He has a great record against City, but he wasn't there. And then you have the midfield duo of Basuma and Gallagher. Gallagher just joined, and Basuma's literally just come back into the team. It wasn't working. And Gray at right wing back, to me, was just a very strange choice. If anything, I would have rather seen someone like Tell on the wing, the right wing back, because at least he's got some pace. Gray out there. Maybe some people may argue put him there to double up on Semenyo, but Semenyo was just by himself anyway. Like, City were playing quite a few long balls and was bypassing whatever protection Frank kind of put there. And then we get on to the second half. Sarr comes on for Romero. Now, this change was quite interesting to me because some people speculate, Frank says it was an illness. Some people speculate that it wasn't just tactical. I think personally, something may have happened at halftime between Romero and Frank. That is not out of realms of possibility. Also, Romero does have a history of getting injured, so I thought that initially as well. But I think he did want to go to a back four. And I think it might have been Paulinho who would have made way, or even Dragusin, bear in mind Dragusin's first game. Because Paulinho carried on playing at centre-back, and I thought he had a decent game there, actually. And we went to a 4-4-2 / thing. Xavi goes to the left, and Sarr comes on, goes to the right. And then we attacked City. We didn't really let them play in the second half that much. And the first goal comes in the 53rd minute. After an Udogie chance as well. But Solanke wins, gets a toe poke really. And it went to VAR. It wasn't given in City's favour. It went in our favour, which is quite nice. It goes to 2-1. Carry on. The momentum was with us at that point. And we get the second for a great goal again by Solanke. And Solanke, since he's come into the team, has been a massive difference for us. Gives us hold-up play. I'm not saying he's the best striker, and he's not even a top striker. I think he's kind of in that realms of where he's average to top, in the middle, sort of good. He's okay. But he has made a difference as he came back and gets his 2 goals. And see, Odobert comes on, Tell comes on, we go to a 4. But Saki came off with an injury, and Greg came off with an injury as well. So there's problems there. If Solanke's injured again, we have massive problems. So the 2-2 draw is a great result, but City could have won it at the end. I mean, There was a massive save near the end where it hits Vicario at the end, but it was a massive melee. But the 2-2 draw, I guess a game of two halves was kind of a fair result, I would argue. I think it was a fair result. So yeah, fair result, I guess. But this keeps Frank for another week. Whether that's deserved or not, I don't know. But we seem to repeat the same cycle where we go 1 or 2-0 down in the first half. Second half, we come back out. What is the solution? Is this somewhere in the middle where we be a bit more attacking in the first half and then more defensive at the second? Or do we kind of like be more attacking and less reserved? Because in the first half, we felt like we were trying to hold the score. Anyways, come on, you Spurs.